he's pending a criminal case. Like, his case in Washington is very, very serious.
Yeah.
And they told me that they intend to extradite him. So, in a nutshell, I mean, I've called into Pasco a few times. Basically what happened is we went on vacation to Washington State for Christmas, and while we were there, he assaulted me and broke my nose. Because I just want to have the assault reported, because the reason I didn't report in the past is because he threatened to kill me if I did. And over the last 2 years is when he started becoming violent, and most of the time it would be like a strangulation incident, and then time would go by and then he would do it again, and that was what it was for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, late summer, it escalated, and the specific assault that I want to report was September 6th into the 7th. It was like overnight, and that one it was like insane. He just beat me with his fist like over and over in my head, in my face, in my ribs, just all over. While I was on the floor cowering, like he just kept on beating me, and I almost went to the hospital after that. But he just always would threaten. What he did after that assault is he started recording me. He started recording me like having an emotional breakdown. And he recorded like multiple videos of me after that, and told me he would post those videos if I ever like reported him, things like that. So I feel, during these like rage episodes that he would have, he would literally say that he was gonna smash my face and rearrange my face, and he would go to prison for it, all this kind of stuff. And a couple of times I recorded him saying that stuff because it was just like so outlandish, and I was just like, what? And I chalked it up to like, he's got mental issues, like there's something really wrong here, he needs help. The police were like, well, he could have killed you. Like, yeah, it's I mean, because the attack in Washington was like beyond. I mean, it was like the attack in September, but it was like way worse because
I gotcha. So
he shattered my nose in septum. There was blood everywhere, like just crazy. And I believe he left me unconscious there. So it's just like really crazy to believe that anyone is capable of any of that.
Will Washington State Police come extradite JLR investigates? Wouldn't that be crazy if he's over there in front of Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson, Arizona, and he catches his own arrest going live? My mind is racing. Okay, I've been editing all day, it feels like. I just got all these 911 calls. You guys remember I've been covering the case of Jonathan Lee Riches. Jonathan Lee Riches, better known as JLR Investigates. Okay, making sure I'm speaking into the right part of the microphone here. I want the sound to be great. We've got a lot to discuss. We've got a lot of 911 calls to listen to. There was a February 1st, 2026 incident and 911 call. You guys know I was running all around, sent a check to Florida, paid for it. I got the audio today. God bless those Pasco County people. There's a lot of calls in this one call, and the line that stuck out to me is Jaime. Magnolia is the name she used online. A lot of people use aliases, but of course she got a protection order under her real name, Jaime Phillips. Okay, so we're going to listen to this February 1st, 2026 call. The whole thing is these people, man and a woman, they live together in Florida, if you don't know the case. They took a vacation to Washington State at this All Seasons River Inn for Christmas 2025. It looked fabulous. According to Jaime, unfortunately things went left. She claims Jonathan assaulted her, but she claimed it was not the first time. The line that stood out to me was Jaime talking again and again about his alleged pending criminal case, Jonathan's. And, I'm researching why we might not be able to find that case in the Washington state system as of today. It is Wednesday, April 1st, and this is no April Fool's joke. I'm trying to get to the truth. So, if you don't want to hear me babbling throughout all these 40-some minutes of calls, let's see how long the original audio is. I was sent a phone call, 44 minutes and 36 seconds long, an associated PDF with it, but it needs a lot of redactions. I like to redact stuff even more than the police do. Anyway, if you don't want to hear me babbling, I will put this same watermarked call. I already uploaded it. The video, it's watermarked still with Plunder True Crime on there because people go crazy and they steal stuff from Patreon. It's a whole thing. It's still on there with no commentary. If you just want to listen to it, no YouTube ads, and you want to listen to it on Patreon, okay, it's over there. And what I did was I edited out those beeps. People are like, oh, we don't like the beeps. Some sheriff's office, they put in the beeps. The beeps can be too loud or distracting or hurt people's ears. Anyway, let's get to this. Okay, there are some updates. We're going to listen to the whole thing over here and just chit-chat in between. But that's the line that got to me. Jaime is explaining to the dispatcher in Florida, I may come back to Florida. He has a pending criminal, she interrupted herself, like his case in Washington is very, very serious, and they told me that they intend to extradite him. Ooh, is that still the case? Could we just be waiting on investigators in Washington to get all their ducks in a row? Potentially. These are her allegations, not mine. Don't come for me, you people, you JLR fans all over on Facebook, ready to die for him. Whatever. God knows whatever side is true. Okay, there is an Arkansas case that was just closed, Jaime T. Phillips versus Jonathan L. Riches. It was for an order of protection and it has been closed. There's a 3-year no contact order for both parties. I can put the stipulations on the screen for that. Okay, just because the case is closed doesn't mean that the protection order is done or something like that. No, they came to some sort of agreement in terms of the order of protection, no contact order. That's an Arkansas case. I watch some people and they're trying to tell them, yeah, that case is closed. And some people are like, oh, no, you're lying, or that person's lying. And I'm like, why don't you just go to the court? Go to the court website and look at it yourself. You'll see case closed. Anyway, or some people are taking it as, okay, case closed, that's everything, everything's done. That is not necessarily what it means. We can only make it mean what the court records say. Arkansas order of protection, that case alone is closed. If Chelan County in Washington, those authorities decide to open a case there's already the incident report we've read, but if they decide to open a criminal case against Jonathan Lee Riches, then we will see it there. We don't know. So what's going on with Washington State? Any criminal case, any arrest warrants? I had a legal clerk with the Chelan County District Court telling me I am unfortunately able to locate any cases for Riches Jonathan Lee. She told me to reach out to the sheriff's office. I've been reaching out to them as well. I will keep checking. As soon as I find out something, I will let you guys know. So there was an incident allegedly that kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back, I guess. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, 2025, out in Washington. We have the incident report number. We don't have a criminal court case yet. I was looking for records related to it. There was an incident report where Detective Kyle Talley out of Washington, he responded in person to the 911 call at that beautiful Washington resort. Those body cams are forthcoming. Again, maybe not till May 7th I'll get those. He wrote, there was probable cause to arrest Jonathan Lee Riches for the following criminal offenses: assault in the second degree DV, felony; harassment, threats to kill, DV; felony, interfering with reporting of DV, gross misdemeanor. Stay tuned, we'll see the results of that at some point. For today, let's listen to this full audio. Of course, it's watermarked. Believe me, I hate to have to put Plunder True Crime under everything, but boy, have I learned my lesson. So if I want to be able to keep, paying for these records and everything, I have to watermark this stuff. All right. Sunday, February 1st, 2026. It's around 1:12 p.m. Jaime is calling Pasco County, Florida. She says she thinks JLR is ducking being served.
Sunday, February 1, 2026, 13:12 and 50 seconds.
Communications, how can I help you?
Hi, yeah, my name is. I was calling to ask about filing a police report. This is sort of like an ongoing domestic violence situation. Your office just served a protection order on my behalf to the respondent that lives there in Pasco County. And I just wanted to talk to a deputy about that, and also I was advised by other law enforcement to file a report for prior incidents.
Okay. Give me just one moment. I'm just putting a couple call notes. All right, yeah, I can get something started for you here. What's the phone number we're speaking on?
It's
Plunder, True Crime Audio.
And repeat that phone number for me one time.
Plunder, True Crime Audio.
And do you live in Pasco County?
I did. Our house that we own jointly is there in Port Richey. But I had to. It's
Plunder, True Crime Audio.
Baxley Lane, Baxley Lane, 34668 zip code.
Gotcha. And just repeat the street name and house number for me one time.
Plunder, True Crime
Baxley
Audio.
Lane. And I believe y'all just served I don't know what day it was served, but I think he was trying to duck service for a while, so I don't know when it actually got served, but that's the reference that you would have for this situation.
I gotcha.
So basically,
But then she breaks it down in a nutshell. I've called into Pasco a few times. Basically, she explains we went on vacation to Washington State for Christmas. While we were there, he assaulted me and broke my nose.
in a nutshell, I mean, I've called into Pasco a few times. Basically what happened is we went on vacation to Washington State for Christmas, and while we were there, he assaulted me and broke my nose.
Then she talks about JLR going on the run to avoid being arrested. She said they had warrants out for him for felony assault. Those are her words, not mine.
And then he went on the run to avoid being arrested. They had warrants out for him for felony assault, and so he got a new rental car and literally drove across the whole country all the way back to Florida.
So do they truly have warrants out for JLR for felony assault? I haven't seen a warrant. I have seen an attempt to locate. They mention that, and I have seen them mention, of course, they have probable cause. I haven't seen an actual arrest warrant. I haven't seen an actual PCA, probable cause affidavit. Jaime explains, so he got a new rental car and literally drove across the whole country all the way back to Florida.
And I flew back and got back before he did, and I was able to clear out all my belongings from the house and leave.
So in this event, which, we've heard plenty of calls from Jaime, we've heard a call from JLR's lawyer. We will hear more from Jaime today. We will also hear from dispatchers and Garland County deputy. But Jamie is explaining in this call, and I flew back before he did, and I was able to clear out all my belongings from the house and leave. Yeah, that's a dangerous proposition. A lot of things she talks about in this whole call, they're so surprising, just the level of violence she speaks of. And yet she still speaks as if she cares for him, because at one point she says, mentally, I think there's something wrong with him. Maybe he just needs help. So even after going through everything she alleges he put her through, she's saying, I think JLR needs help. The way Jamie has described it in previous incidents and, calls is Christmas Eve. They got into it. She found stuff on JLR's phone or whatever, nasty stuff, whatever, other women. I don't know exactly what it was. She confronted him about it. Now, I don't know what her definition is of confront. People are sending me these, how people send you these random screenshots of stuff. They just swear this is how it went down. And I'm like, what's the source? Where does this come from? Oh, it's just from somebody that doesn't want to be identified. And I'm kind of like, well, what kind of stock can you put in that? I don't know. Jamie, she's coming forward. Some people believe she's lying. Some people believe JLR's this saint, this angel. Some people believe the opposite. I, again, am trying to dig down to the actual truth. Jamie saying Christmas Eve she confronted JLR. He got physical with her. She claims JLR broke her nose. And then she'll talk about more of that in this 911 call along with other info. It's just shocking. She says he, beat it out of there. He left the state. According to her, I wonder if he took that white Jeep Compass. I wonder if he took it to SeaTac. Maybe he took it to, she doesn't say this. She says he got a different rental car, but I'm wondering now, did he take that white Jeep Compass they were driving? Did he take that to SeaTac? Did he switch and rent a different car? Drove that all the way across country? While he is out of there, JLR must be used to driving really long distances. While JLR's out of there, out of Washington State, Christmas didn't go the way they planned, I guess. He's driving it all the way back home to Florida by way of the Dakotas somehow, because she's going to claim in a different call she tracked him to North Dakota. Jamie, meanwhile, has flown home to Florida to the house that Magnolia, I call her Magnolia, Jamie and JLR share this home. Now, if you look at the warranty deed, both of their names are on that home. I explained it looks like they purchased it in October 2024. She'll talk about that too coming up. Some people are saying, no, she moved into his house and he got it this way. And, I don't know. I'm just big on evidence. I'm an evidence girl. I'm like, show me as much evidence to back up what you're saying as possible. Are you going to the actual property websites? Anyway, she's saying, yeah, so he got a new rental car and literally drove across the whole country all the way back to Florida. And she said, and I flew back before he did. And I was able to clear out all my belongings from the house and leave. So that had to be scary, if her allegations are true and she's, getting back to Florida, she didn't know where he was for a certain point. Then she was able to track him. She didn't even have her own phone. He took her phone and he took one of his phones. I believe he left his work phone with Jamie, claiming he forgot it or alleging she took it or whatever. When you have a lot of he said, she said, all you can do is try and get down to the truth.
So I actually came to Arkansas, so that's where I'm at now. This is where my family is. So I escaped there. It's been a few weeks now. I've been in Arkansas. And I just had surgery, and I'm recovering from surgery. But so I had done the protection order, and the police in Washington, the case is pending in Washington, but the authorities there had told me to get a protection order. So once I got here to Arkansas, and I was able to do that, and I guess that's been served. But they had also told me that I needed to speak to Pasco County about filing a report for prior assaults that are actually referenced in the police report for Washington, because I had told the police about prior incidents. So they wanted me to file a report on that. So the issue is that I'm not there in person.
Yeah.
So that's why I need to talk to a deputy. I had talked to a deputy last week when I called to see about the protection order and if it had been served yet. And I talked to a deputy then, and he had told me that, well, he suggested that I go to Garland County, Arkansas Sheriff's Department and ask if they could fill out what he called a courtesy report.
Yeah.
And then send it to Pasco. But I went there Friday, and they said that that's not really something they would do. So they just said I should call back and try to initiate a report over the phone.
So Jaime said, so I actually came to Arkansas. That's where I'm at now. This is where my family is, so I escaped there. It's been a few weeks now. I've been in Arkansas. Okay, so I'm glad Jaime's around family. I'm glad she was able to get out of Florida. Get there safely. She said, and I just had surgery. I'm recovering from surgery. I had done the protection order, the police in Washington. The case is pending in Washington, she says. She keeps interrupting herself, and I get it. I can be ADD too, you guys know, and not completing full sentences sometimes. So she's saying the police in Washington, the case is pending in Washington, but the authorities there had told me to get a protection order. Now about this surgery. Jaime recovering from surgery. If she says she had surgery on her nose, I believe her. And that could be potentially part of the holdup if they're building a case against JLR. I was trying to see, would it take this long? Would it take more than 3 months to get a criminal case out there, to get an arrest warrant out there? If Detective Talley said he had probable cause already back on Christmas Day, I think that's what's throwing a lot of people off. But it's also the way this case came out, the way it was kind of leaked. Normally we might start following criminal cases once we hear of an arrest, not necessarily always there might be a pending arrest. But these medical records, okay, she says she has had surgery on her nose, her septum, and all this stuff. She was recovering. You'll see later she talks about photos she has. I'm sure all this evidence will be with the police. So people are commenting oh yeah, I don't even know what they said on Facebook because I'm like, where are you getting this from? Some people, who knows who it could be, some crazy sock account, if you know what I mean. They're like, oh, the medical reports, they might be saying, oh, the medical reports didn't back up what Jaime says. And I'm like, well, link me, show me what medical reports you are talking about. Obviously, if you have all this freaking evidence I haven't seen. Then they come back with HIPAA laws, HIPAA, because of HIPAA privacy laws, you can't see the medical reports. So I'm thinking, well, how the hell did you see them? People, I just hate when people make up things out of thin air, and I'm not accusing any one person of doing that. I'm just saying, where's your evidence? If you're coming at me and you're going to leave comments like, Magnolia made all this up and the medical reports don't align with what where did you get that from? If you have not seen valid, actual medical reports with your own eyeballs, then what are you talking about? And I'm like, show me the evidence. And then they're like, oh no, that's private. I'm like, okay, whatever. Anyway, you can tell this case is just crazy. It's really got people crazy. Jaime continues, once I got here to Arkansas, I was able to do that, get her protection order. I guess that's been served, but they also told me I need to speak to Pasco County about filing a report for prior assaults that are referenced in the police report for Washington. So they wanted me to file a report on that. So the issue is that I'm not there in person. So Jaime is in beautiful Hot Springs, Arkansas somewhere. I recommend everyone see it once in your lifetime at least. The problem is there are all these states involved. This straw that broke the camel's back incident, Christmas, Washington State. Jaime fled to Garland County, Arkansas, but she lived in Pasco County, Florida with JLR. She said she moved to Florida for him. Probably one of her biggest regrets in life, I bet. So we've got all these states and jurisdictions, and you'll hear later what a mess that makes. So she's saying, look, I'm not there in person to file this report. That's why she's calling Pasco County, Florida from Arkansas to get this report filed. So Jaime said he suggested that I go to Garland County, Arkansas Sheriff's Department and ask if they could fill out what he called a courtesy report and then send it to Pasco, but I went there Friday and they said that that's not something they would do. So indeed, there are back and forths. Pasco County, Florida has their way of doing things. Garland County, Arkansas has their way, and they conflict.
Because I just want to have the assault reported, because the reason I didn't report in the past is because he threatened to kill me if I did. So now that I'm safely away, I want to at least have a report.
I understand.
Jaime just says, I just want to have the assault reported, because the reason I didn't report it in the past is he threatened to kill me if I did. If true, it's a scary allegation. She's going to dive into scarier allegations. Okay, she says, so now that I'm safely away, I want to at least have a report. So I get this, she's going to talk about Washington. They're very serious about domestic violence, building those cases. It's intense. They need, if there have been prior assaults, Jaime says they want me to file those. They want me to tell everything I've been through over this 3-year relationship. And it's wild. She does talk about, okay, we've been together 3 years. It sounded like the first year went okay. But then, according to Jaime, JLR turned violent like that second year. Like the second and third years were the worst, I guess. And I was like, what happened? I wonder, if this is true, what happened for that change to occur? Okay, she says, now that I'm safely away, I want to at least have a report. And she's verbose. I can be pretty verbose, as you guys know. That's why I put a commentary-free version over on Patreon. Okay, she feels safe. She's away from him. She's in a different town. She has more support.
I'm sorry, I know he's your ex, but was it your ex-boyfriend or ex-husband?
Ex-boyfriend, yeah. We own the house there jointly, so my name is also on that house and a few other assets. So if you pull up property records or whatever, we're both on the house, but we're not married.
I gotcha.
The only reason I didn't stay there is simply because I don't have any family or anybody in Florida. I only had moved there because of him, so. Because I actually had the option on the protection order to have him removed from the home. And if I were planning to stay in Florida, that's what I would have done. But I don't have any, support system in Florida.
The dispatcher is asking, is this your ex-boyfriend or your husband? And she says, ex-boyfriend, we own the house there jointly. So my name is also on that house and a few other assets. So all of these things Jaime is saying can be proven. Whether it's in a future criminal case, a civil case, both, neither, whatever, it can be proven. We have the evidence. I remember when I was moving to California, I remember taking a lump sum distribution from my 401k, using 25 grand of that to put into our California home. I remember it so clearly because I had never tithed on that much money before, and I was feeling this conviction and went ahead and did it, and God just worked everything out so fabulously. But my point is, yeah, that's 25 grand, for example, my portion I put into our California house. Even though Jaime and JLR are not married, she's saying we own the house there jointly. I don't know how they got the house, or I do know I've seen some of the details a little bit, but I don't know how much they put down. If they went in together, put down a down payment on that house, she can obviously prove that. So I don't know, people don't need to argue back and forth about maybe what they heard, or I heard she moved into his house, or I heard, he got it for only this amount. And I don't know, it gets annoying when I look on actual, county recorder websites, look up the property records, look up the actual court records, and I see one thing clearly saying something, and then I turn on YouTube, and these YouTubers who They just don't want to go to the websites, I guess. Maybe they don't want to go to the websites. Maybe they don't know how. And they're out there spouting off something totally different than what the actual records say. She says the only reason I didn't stay there is simply because I don't have any family in Florida. I had only moved there because of him. So she was probably hoping, it would be a great partnership. Jaime probably hoped maybe they would get married. I couldn't see any photos with rings on her finger. But Jaime did say this, because I actually had the option on the protection order to have him removed from the home. And if I were planning to stay in Florida, that's what I would have done. I was like, whoa. I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that was an option. I'm glad victims or alleged victims have that option. It's probably smart she didn't stay in Florida. She didn't try and antagonize him and, kick him out the house. If these allegations are true, I have to keep saying that, giving that caveat for Mr. Lawsuit Happy over there. I know it's harder for him to sue, not impossible, but we are reading actual court documents and 911 records, okay? It's just facts. Ipso facto, it is what it is, okay?
Ipso facto.
Even if these allegations are true, if Jaime would have had the right to kick him out of that house in Florida, would that have amped him up even further and put her in more danger?
All right. So just so I know I have my call notes here, just to confirm, you had a protection order served against your ex-boyfriend, and your local sheriff told you to file a report about previous assaults that had occurred here with our county.
Mhm.
Okay. And you'd also like to speak to a deputy about just the general situation.
Yeah, well, I just need to know how to go about filing the report, what all I would need to do for that, because they were telling me here at the Garland County Sheriff's Office, they said that they said if it was a crime that had happened here and it happened a few months ago, they would just take the report over the phone and then, assign it out to be investigated, I guess. But I just don't know how you do things there.
I gotcha. Now, how long ago did the assaults happen?
So basically over the course of our relationship we were together for 3 years exactly, and over the last 2 years is when he started becoming violent, and most of the time it would be like a strangulation incident, and then time would go by and then he would do it again, and that was what it was for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, late summer, it escalated, and the specific assault that I want to report was September 6th into the 7th. It was like overnight, the 6th, 7th, and then that's the one that I want to report.
She said over the last 2 years is when he started becoming violent, and most of the time it would be like a strangulation incident. It would be like a strangulation incident. Now, those of us in true crime know it is no, light matter when someone strangles another person. Statistics say that person being strangled will most likely end up experiencing, being strangled to death eventually. Thank God Jaime wasn't. In the paperwork, she claimed he strangled her up to 24 times. On this call, she explains time would go by and then he would do it again. That was what it was for the longest time. For the longest time, I'm thinking of Billy Joel's song. And then, all of a sudden, late summer, he escalated. So the specific assault that I want to report was September 6th, she's talking about 2025, into the 7th, and it was like overnight. So she'll give more details about this report, about this alleged incident. Previously, I remember her saying it was August of 2025, and now she's saying September 6th. September 6th into the 7th, 2025 specifically, overnight. I mean, strangulation is serious enough, attempted or whatever, kind of like just the threat of it, But escalating, she's talking about him really allegedly, throwing hands. I looked it up because, of course, I wanted to know, what was going on that weekend? And, when was the last time Magnolia was seen on his channel? I see people keep mentioning them. They're like, thanks, JLR and Magnolia. At a certain point, it turns to, where's Magnolia? We keep asking where Magnolia is in the comments. But I see JLR Investigates. He streamed live on September 5th, some ICE protest in Chicago. And then no videos, live nor pre-recorded edited videos, were published on September 6th and 7th, Saturday and Sunday 2025. That was a weekend. I'm going to assume Jaime and JLR were at home in Pasco County, and that's why she's reporting it to them. So there was no videos because, of course, I'm looking like, do I see any scars anywhere on his hands? Is he's holding up his phone? But I didn't see any videos filmed the 6th or the 7th when she alleges this horrible attack happened. He did stream live September 8th, 2025. There was a shooting in San Antonio, and then he published a pre-recorded video. Also on September 8th, he published a pre-recorded video about a missing child. So this is what the attack is Jaime alleges happened.
And that one, it was like insane. He just beat me with his fist like over and over in my head and my face and my ribs, just all over. While I was on the floor cowering, like he just kept on beating me. And I almost went to the hospital after that, but he just always would threaten. What he did after that assault is he started recording me. He started recording me like having an emotional breakdown. And he recorded like multiple videos of me after that and told me he would post those videos if I ever reported him, things like that. So I feel
Jaime says, and in that one, it was like insane. He just beat me with his fists over and over in my head, in my face, in my ribs, just all over while I was on the floor cowering. Like she's on the floor, she's cowering from these blows, allegedly. She said he just kept on beating me. I almost went to the hospital after that. But she says what he did after that assault is he started recording me. He started recording me having an emotional breakdown. And he recorded multiple videos of me after that and told me he would post the videos if I ever reported him. Now, that would be on brand for a YouTuber who is really used to always turning his phone on and recording people. Is it true?
Pretty certain that given his criminal case that's happening, that he probably will try to use videos against me and things like that. But yeah, so that's the specific one. It would be September 6th to the 7th. And then, in the report, I would also like to reference prior strangulation incidents.
Okay.
It was an ongoing thing. But the one from September, it was really brutal. So I had really bad bruising on my face, and, I've got the pictures and all that. But
she said, I feel pretty certain, given his criminal case that's happening, again, I can't find this case number anywhere, he will try to use videos against me and things like that. The one from September was pretty brutal, she said. So I had really bad bruising on my face. I've got the pictures and all that. So to me, that's another thing that can be easily confirmed or debunked. This woman is saying, look, I was in this relationship with this man. It got really, really bad. It turned bad. Late summer last year, he was beating me. My face was bruised so much. I have the pictures. We've seen that one picture of Jaime with the black eye, allegedly caused by JLR, We don't have any metadata with it. It leaked, on Twitter. Is it part of an evidence file? I don't know. We don't have the metadata. We don't know what time. A lot of things can be easily proven or debunked. For example, for the people who are claiming, she just created that black eye with makeup. Well, the hospital reports could easily refute that if it goes to a criminal trial. Now, how the injuries were caused would be another matter, of course.
So, yeah, I just think that it's important to have a record of that, because in the Washington case, Washington State has pretty, well, what they told me in the hospital is that they have pretty extreme domestic violence laws. And so their case will almost certainly reference prior incidents, because they look at patterns, is what they look at like a pattern of events and escalation and different things like that. And so they will most likely, weigh prior incidents and things like that. So I just think it's important to have a report filed.
But Jaime said Washington State has what they told me in the hospital is that they have pretty extreme domestic violence laws. And so their case will almost certainly reference prior incidents, because they look at patterns, is what they told, and then she kind of cut herself off. They look at like a pattern of events and escalation and different things like that. So they will most likely, weigh prior incidents and things like that. So it's important to have a report filed.
I also made a written report. Like I kind of put everything together, and I made a printout that I took with me to the sheriff's office here in Garland County, that sort of just is my report. It's what I want to say in the report. And so I don't know if that's helpful, or I could email that.
Yeah, we will get on that in just a moment. I'm just putting a few more call notes in here for you, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, okay?
Okay. Sorry, my dog is...
No, that's okay. Thank you for being so patient with me.
You be a good boy. Yeah, this has been like an insane last month. I can't even describe. It's just been so much work, and it's crazy because I'm the victim, and it's become like a full-time job, recovering and surgery and all doing reports and protection orders. And I didn't think that I was going to have to do a protection order necessarily. They kept telling me to do it, and I was like, well, there's no way he's going to contact me. I was like, he would be crazy to contact me. And then he did. He actually did. A couple weeks ago, he emailed me about money, because he's trying to basically take all the assets out of my name without anything in return. And that's what he emailed me about. So I went ahead and filed the protection order right after he did. I couldn't believe that he had the nerve to contact me.
Gotcha. Now, I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
What's your boyfriend's first name? And what's his last name? And what's his date of birth? Okay. And in reference to And I'm sorry, just because one of my dispatchers is asking me, what was the county that you're located in where you tried to make the report with your county?
Oh, I'm in Garland County, Arkansas. Hot Springs is the city. And they're the ones that I went and I did the protection order through their courthouse. Because it's a nationwide, well, I mean, I'm sure you know what it is.
Again, thank you for being so patient. We're just trying to figure out what the best way to get this report handled is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how this escalated the way it has, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I'm not the first person you've heard say that. It's just like, it's just shocking that someone is capable of doing things like this.
I am very sorry that did happen to you.
Well, it's just hard to believe that he made threats. Like, it's really crazy, too, because one of the things, like, whenever you assign this to whoever, a detective or whatever, one of the things that I have to send is...
So there's a lot of, the dispatchers writing all this down. Jaime is saying it's just been so much work. It's crazy because I'm the victim. And it's become like a full-time job, recovering and surgery and doing reports and protection orders. Jaime told herself there's no way he's going to contact me. I was like, he'd be crazy to contact me. And then he did. He actually did. A couple of weeks ago, he emailed me about money. So that's like, what, January 15th or something. Keep in mind, this was recorded February 1st. So she's saying, it happened around Christmas 2025, a couple of weeks later-ish or more, January 15th or so, JLR is emailing me about money. She says because he's trying to basically take all of the assets out of my name without anything in return. And that's what he emailed me about. So I went ahead and filed a protection order. I understand people could look at this either way. Some people could look at this as, oh, she's really just a woman scorned and she's mad about money and she's lying. Or some people could look at it as, she's telling the truth. JLR, he loves money. He's trying to stiff her of all this that she's put into the relationship. So again, some stuff might be easier to prove with bank account records. What assets did they purchase together? Besides both of them, I guess, going in on the house. I mean, there's a reason her name's on the house. I don't know the details. The dispatcher starts asking some questions. Jaime is talking still a little bit more. She's just shocked. In essence, Jaime says she's shocked that someone is even capable of doing the things she alleges JLR did to her, like warning her about it and then actually doing it.
During these rage episodes that he would have, he would literally say that he was gonna smash my face and rearrange my face, and he would go to prison for it, all this kind of stuff. And a couple of times I recorded him saying that stuff because it was just so outlandish, and I was just like, what? And I chalked it up to he's got mental issues. There's something really wrong here. He needs help. and things like that. And it just, like, it's just hard to, like, believe that he actually did what he said he would do, you know? And then the police were like, well, you know, he could have killed you. Like,
she said during these like rage episodes that he would have, he would literally say that he was going to smash my face and rearrange my face, and he would go to prison for it. Well, we know JLR is familiar with prison. He's been open about the time he served, the experiences he claimed he had in prison. So if he said that to her for real, is that like a prophecy? Is Jonathan prophesying over himself? She said, and a couple of times I recorded him saying that stuff because it was just like so outlandish. I was just like, what? If she has this actual evidence of JLR saying, you know, I'm going to smash your face, I'll rearrange your face and I'll go to prison for it. And if it's truly him, his voice, that's good evidence. And the fact that she hasn't leaked that already or published it anywhere that I've heard perhaps shows her faith in the system, that maybe it's still, you know, in an evidence file somewhere in Washington, and perhaps they're building a case. Now, again, in this day and age where we live, I'm sure some people would claim if that audio came out, they would say, oh, she must have used AI to recreate JLR's voice. I'm sure there's got to be a way that people can truly distinguish between an audio recording of a voice that's really, for example, like really me speaking to you here, and an AI version of my voice. If they look deep enough, perhaps if they're techie enough, but it's still difficult. You guys know. I mean, when I did that video about Linda from It's a Crime, I truly thought like AI was telling me, oh no, that's an AI image of her. I thought some thief had stolen her videos. It does get harder to tell these days. This is where Jaime says, I chalked it up to he's got mental issues, like there's something really wrong there. He needs help. That part showed me maybe she really did care for him, even though she's alleging this horrible stuff that she says, you know, happened to her at his hands. Part of her seems like she still cares for him, like he just needs help. And the fact that she hasn't leaked those audio recordings of him, you know, allegedly saying all that horrible stuff to her. Anyway, she says the police were like, he could have killed you. So Jaime is saying the attack in Washington was like beyond. It was like the attack in September, but it was way worse. She wrote, he shattered my nose and septum. There was blood everywhere. I believe he left me unconscious there. So it's just like really crazy to believe that anyone is capable of any of that. It's like she's still trying to come to terms with, wow, he's really capable of that? Now, she says there was blood everywhere. On one of her calls, was it the very first one, the 911 operator did ask, you know, is your nose bleeding? And she did say, it was last night. And then she said, you know, he left and I went to bed. So I don't know if she was meaning he left and I passed out. I remember seeing him take the phones and everything and leave. You know, I don't know also how much or if any alcohol was involved. There's a lot of factors we don't know here, and I don't want to fill in the blanks with anything wrong, but I'm looking at the facts of what we have here and trying to, you know, make a determination with the evidence we have. So now the dispatcher in Pasco County is saying, okay, this needs to be filed in the county where you live first. He's assuming, okay, she's living now in Garland County. So he's transferring her over to the Garland County Sheriff's Office. So by this point, it's still Sunday, February 1st. It's now 11:32 p.m. So they've been talking about 20 minutes at this point.
Yeah.
It's I mean, because the attack in Washington was like beyond. I mean, it was like the attacks in September, but it was like way worse because
I gotcha. So
he shattered my nose and septum. There was blood everywhere, you know, like just crazy. And I believe he left me unconscious there. So it's just like really crazy to believe that anyone is capable of any of that.
Yeah, I understand. So I did talk with some of my dispatchers, and So it looks like the way our county handles this is basically the report needs to be filed in the county you live in first. I know they said that you needed to call us first, but that's not how our county processes these sorts of incidents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get us transferred over to Garland County's non-emergency line. I'm going to introduce us, let them know the situation, and that we require them to contact us for the situation.
Mhm.
So just stay on the line with me, and I'll get us over there real quick, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Sunday, February 1, 2026, 13:32 and 44 seconds.
Thank you for calling the Garland County Sheriff's Office. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Listen to the following options, as the menu has changed. For the detention center and inmate info, press 1. To file a report or have a patrol deputy respond, press 2. For the criminal investigation division, press 3. For finance and accounting, press 4. For a civil matter, press 5. For records, press 6. For fines and fees, press 7. For PIO or media inquiries, press 8. For the operator, press 0. To the
Garland County Dispatch.
Hi, ma'am. This is Pasco County, Florida. I have a caller on the line. Phone number.
Plunder, true crime audio.
Caller is reporting, basically she had a domestic battery experience here in our county, but since she lives in your county, the way our county handles these situations is the report needs to be taken by your county first and then sent via teletype to us.
So I'm not sure how that would go because that's not how it works here. Usually the only reason we would take a report is if it happened here within Garland County.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if a deputy would make a report for your county and then send it to you.
Would you?
In a moment.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Sorry about that. I got a bunch of stuff going on.
No, you're okay. I know how it goes.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. That's just usually how that goes. I'm not 100% if they
Unfortunately,
would do it.
It kind of sounds like both of our jurisdictions kind of butt heads on how the process is handled. And then we're left to kind of...
Pasco County?
Pasco County, Florida. Yes, ma'am.
I have her phone number. What's your guys's?
Our phone number to call into dispatch is going to be option 7.
Okay, so, and what's her name?
It was...
And you said it was a battery?
A delayed battery from September 6th, 2025.
And that occurred last year?
Yeah.
So I can call, they're really busy right now. We have a full board going on. Whenever I have a deputy available, probably the OIC, I'll give him a phone call, and we'll just go from there. It'll probably be me that calls you guys back. I have her name and her phone number as well.
I do have her on the line as well. I can have her talk to you if you need any information.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
we usually just keep the caller on the line when we...
but I just feel like it's just going to be repeating herself
I understand.
from what she's already told you guys. and I don't want her to have to do that if my deputies aren't going to take the report just because she lives here within Garland County and a battery occurred in Florida. Can I have her phone number again? I wrote down your guys'.
Her phone number.
And Garland is like, no, that's not how it works. You know, they would only take a report if it happened in Garland. So they're talking and Jamie's still on the line. The dispatcher is saying, like, yes, I understand, you know, you need to help build the case. Washington has to help build a case. I don't know if it's really difficult to, you know, open a criminal DV case in Washington state because their requirements are more stringent or what. So Jamie is asking if she can make this report over the phone. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. And then she's like, do I have to send someone in person down to Florida, you know, to make this report? The call with Garland County only lasted about 10 minutes. That 911 dispatcher had to go. She was like pretty busy. Her full board was lit up.
Okay. I mean, I'll also take down the gist of what occurred, just in case I'm wrong. And I'll just go from there, okay?
Basically, she's had a DVI served to her ex-boyfriend, and it's over an incident. The initiating incident started in Washington. Her nose was broken. That's what led to the DVI being served. But then Washington has told her to file a report about other past batteries that have occurred, so that way they can help build the case to, I guess, follow up with, like, getting a case started for domestic battery.
Okay. Okay. All right. Like I said, ma'am, if you can still hear me, if a deputy does decide to give you a phone call, it'll be from a blocked or unknown phone number. So just stand by for that, and we'll just go from there. Okay?
Yeah, and I had another question.
Yeah.
If they say that they're not, like, for one thing, I don't understand why you're not able to take a police report over the phone. That's number one.
I didn't say that they couldn't do that. They can do a report over the phone. It was about where.
So that seems to me that, like, the easiest thing here is if I'm able to just do the report over the phone.
Yeah.
And I can email whatever it is that you need. That seems like a pretty simple solution. But if that's not possible, would I be able to have, like, a representative of mine come into Pasco County and file the report? Or if I'm able to get some sort of victim advocate or somebody like that to come in and file the report? I mean, I don't know why it's difficult.
That county. So usually for us here in Garland County in Arkansas, the report needs to be made wherever that occurred. So the jurisdiction, whether it be Hot Springs PD or Saline County, if it happened there, you'd have to make a report through that specific county. And that's just how the whole procedures work. I'm not sure why, or, you know. But that's usually how it goes. I might be wrong, and it's very instant because it sounds like there's just a lot going on, and they might be able to make it work. But that would be up to the deputy and not me.
Yeah.
So that's
no. I mean, I already came in and talked to the deputies there on Friday. So.
Okay. And
that's why I'm on the phone now, because they told me that they could not file the report because it did not happen here. And that's why I called back Pasco County.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yeah, so I have your name and your phone number. I have a pretty good gist of what's going on. Whenever my OIC, which means officer in charge of whatever shift is on, I'm gonna call him and talk to him about what's going on and see what we can do. Okay, and it'll either be me that gives you a phone call, and it'll call back with the 3666 phone number.
Yeah. And my questions aren't necessarily just for you. It's also for the
for
Pasco
sure.
County rep that's on the phone with us as well. Because Pasco County should be able to take a police report over the phone, I would think. So
yeah, because our deputies can do that. Domestic disturbances, sometimes it just depends on when they occur. Like, I know he said that this one.
Well, yeah, and that's what they told me. Yeah, and that's what they told me. They specifically said that if it had happened here in Garland County in September, that they would literally take a report over the phone about it. Because since it happened a few months ago, it's not as if there's an active crime scene that they would need, you know what I mean? Like, so he said the normal protocol would just be to do it over the phone. So I'm not sure why Pasco's not able.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might have the ROIC go call up there and see if he can get a little bit further on how their procedures work. But I do have to go. There's a lot going on. I have to answer this 911 call, but I will call you back, okay?
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Garland. I appreciate you as well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So then, at 1:42 p.m. same day, she's back to speaking Jaime is with the same Pasco County dispatcher. You can tell she's getting frustrated. She doesn't understand why it has to be in Pasco County, Florida to file a report. Like, does she have to be there physically? She's trying to explain to him, look, I don't really live in Garland County. Basically, she was just hiding out.
February 1, 2026, 13:42 and 05 seconds.
All right, ma'am. So it does look like...
did you...
It does,
so did you also...
As well. It does look like Garland will reach out to you. They'll see if they can handle it and actually take that, and like they said, they'll try and get in contact with our county as well to see. But if you can just call us back when they make contact with you and kind of advise what happened, and then it may not be me who's on the phone, but you can advise that you've tried twice to speak to Garland about getting the report finished there, and they're just, they can't handle it there. And then
and I mean,
if you could
find out,
and then,
I mean, if you can find out on your end if I'm able to do the report over the phone, or like I said,
because it is delayed. If Garland County doesn't handle it, we can take a delayed call over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I was told by my supervisor that we have to try and initiate it with Garland County since that's the county you reside in.
Yeah, I mean,
I understand it's a whole thing. Unfortunately, it's just different counties can have different operating procedures. There's not one standardized approach to how these are handled, unfortunately.
Right. So, yeah, if I can just do the report over the phone with Pasco, that would be ideal. But otherwise, also, I wanted to know if that's not an option, if someone else can come in person, because I just don't understand why I would have to actually be there in person to file a report.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not a deputy. I'm just a call taker here. I don't know the whole process. This is just what my dispatchers and supervisors are advising currently.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the other thing too.
I know it's a very frustrating thing, and I'm very sorry for that. I wish I could assist more.
Well, I mean, the other thing too, though, from Garland County's perspective, they don't have anything to do with any of this. The only involvement that they have is they're the ones who filed the protection order.
Yeah, it's just our the way we do it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, my first priority is just if you can find out and have someone call me if I can do the report over the phone. I've already, this is not my first call to Pasco County. I called a couple of days right after the incident when I arrived there to let them know of the situation in the first place, because at the time when I got back, I didn't know where he was, and I didn't know, like, if he was going to show up while I was packing my things like that. So I've been keeping Pasco in the loop this whole time since the incident. I've made several calls now at this point. So I feel like you should be aware of the situation. And like I said, I do have I did type up a statement that I can send and all of that. But it doesn't sound like Garland's going to do anything, so.
Yeah, I understand. I am still trying my very best to work with you here and see if we can't find a solution.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, if you can just maybe have a deputy call or something.
Yeah.
The last deputy I talked to is the one who told me to try to file it at Garland.
I'm sorry, I'm just communicating with a couple of my supervisors as well, trying to figure out the best course of action if we can, because if I can just handle it right here, if they just give me the go-ahead and say, yes, just go ahead and start the call, then we can be done here really quickly. It'll just take me a few minutes to get a response.
Yeah.
And if not, if this is going to continue to be kind of a back and forth trying to figure out this situation, then I'll just have a deputy reach out to you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind waiting. I'm not doing anything else. So this is like my job now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why my dog always acts crazy when I'm on the phone. He wants attention.
Honestly, I can't even hear him, so you must have noise canceling or something.
That's funny.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I did just receive confirmation from another supervisor because you, as the victim, live in their jurisdiction. They have to start the report. But we'll have a deputy call you as well.
Well.
So.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. You keep saying that I live in their jurisdiction, but my driver's license says that I live in Pasco County, Florida. I'm staying at an Airbnb. I wouldn't characterize it that I live in Garland County.
Okay.
I mean, I'm literally just here for safety reasons and to get medical treatment.
I got you. So,
like, yeah, I just think it just sounds weird when you keep saying that I live in their jurisdiction because I literally just got here like 3 weeks ago.
No, I understand. Just from the information I had, I was led to believe that you might have been staying up there, like not trying to come back to Pasco. So that's why I was saying live there. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I'll come back to Pasco. I don't know if I'll come back to Pasco or not. I mean,
it was
temporarily
just a misunderstanding on my end, and I'm very sorry for that.
Well, and that may be the issue overall now that I think about it, because the other guy kept saying that too, and it's like I wouldn't characterize it that I, quote, live here. I came here to hide out.
I got you.
This is like a hiding place. Yeah. So I'm in an Airbnb right now, and I'm getting a different Airbnb in a couple weeks that I'm staying temporarily. But I don't know. I may come back to Florida because he's pending a criminal like his case in Washington is very, very serious.
Yeah.
And they told me that they intend to extradite him. So they could file charges and extradite him tomorrow for all I know. And then he could be out of the house.
Yeah.
For good. So then I may come back to my house. I mean, but my house
I understand.
is in Pasco. That's where I live.
Yeah.
So, like,
Gotcha. So, yeah, right now,
I mean, I'm
think the best...
basically on vacation here is all. Like, I don't have a driver's license here. I don't pay taxes here. I don't have a job here. I don't have any of that. So I live in Pasco County for all intents and purposes.
All right, I gotcha. So what we're going to do is we're going to have one of our law enforcement deputies reach out to you via phone, and they should be able to give you some more information. Unfortunately, I'm not a deputy. I just work in dispatch.
Yeah.
But they should be able to talk you through the process, get a little more information about everything that's happened, and be hopefully in a much better position to further assist you with this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and so and they usually call back from a private number too, right?
Yeah. It'll be a private restricted or blocked number as well. So hopefully you'll hear back from our deputies as well fairly soon.
Yeah, or either.
It should definitely.
Yeah, either that or Garland, and if I hear back from Garland, I'll let you know. And what was your name? So, because in case I need to call back.
Okay, my name is
Funny, because my last name is and I named my dog like.
That's fun. That's funny.
Yeah, I have a dog named.
Plunder, True Crime Audio.
Alrighty. Well, I'm sorry this took so long.
I'll remember that.
Yeah, I'm sorry this took so long, and hopefully we can...
It's no problem. I understand I understand it's completely complicated. I mean, I've been dealing with this for a month now, and it's just, you don't even know. It's because it's just, this is like one component. I also have all the medical stuff I've been dealing with too.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, so just be on the lookout for phone calls from blocked, restricted, or private numbers. That's either going to be Garland County or us.
Yeah.
And hopefully a deputy either in Garland or one of our Pasco deputies hopefully someone will take it for you.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you helping me and taking the time today.
Not a problem. I'm sorry it took so long, but I hope you have a safe rest of your day.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
She said, I didn't know where he was. I didn't know if he was going to show up while I was packing my things. So she's trying to figure out this confusion, this back and forth between how do I get this report filed? And she's joking like, this is like my job now. Basically, I see all this red tape. Jaime explains she's staying at some Airbnb. She was hiding out, and I think she was checking out of that one, going to a different one. I don't blame her. I don't know how good JLR is at sleuthing, but you know, like us true crimers, we know sometimes how to find people. So I'm sure that's on her mind. Like, okay, I better go here or there, you know. But Jaime did say, I may come back to Florida. That's when she said he's pending a criminal. Like his case in Washington is very, very serious. They told me that they intend to extradite him. It's not a spoiler alert or ruining anything to say this. I'm sure JLR has probably been fearing extradition since Christmas Day. If this is true, allegedly, that's probably why he ran. Maybe consciousness of guilt, whatever, you know, he didn't stay in Washington to say, I didn't do this to her, or, you know, plead his case or whatever. He crossed state lines, said he was like 100 miles away. According to reports and all this, he fled. You know, some people would just say he left. I'm sure his fans would say, oh, he knew she's crazy and she would try and trap him with some bad charges. And, you know, I get it. Believe me, I'm not one of those believe all women types of people. I'm like, believe the evidence. Where does the evidence take us? This is not about any grudge or anything. You know, I don't have anything. To me, this is trying to examine another crime case like we do with all the crime cases we examine. And it's so funny. It's pretty rich of people who come back with like, this is his personal business. And I'm like, okay, for the man who will hold up anyone's picture, show anyone's address, you know, dig into any would-be crime case, to me it's pretty funny that people would say, stay out of his personal business. You know, when it comes to the court, when protection orders are filed, it starts crossing the line into true crime. It doesn't mean he's guilty of any assault. These are only allegations we're reading right now. But Jaime did say they could file charges and extradite him tomorrow, for all I know, and then he could be out of the house for good. So then I may come back to my house in Pasco. That's where I live, she's trying to say. And the dispatcher's like, okay, you know, maybe I had it wrong. I'll just have a deputy give you a call back. Whew. So later that same day, February 1st, it's 2:57 p.m. About an hour later, the Garland County Sheriff's Office calls Pasco County. It's interesting to hear him. It's kind of windy and everything.
Sunday, February 1, 2026, 14:57 and 08 seconds.
Communications, how can I help you?
This is Corporal Yarbrough with the Garland County Sheriff's Office in Hot Springs, Arkansas. How are you?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I'm following up with y'all calling and speaking to my dispatch about a crime that occurred in y'all's county.
Okay. Do you happen to have a case number or address in our county?
This is a follow-up from yesterday or day before yesterday. Some lady that was living there in Pasco County got abused by her husband. She's living here in Garland County now, and y'all are trying to get us to do the report. So I'm trying to speak to a supervisor or somebody about that.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, just give me one moment.
Her name is the victim, if that helps.
And then, I'm sorry, what's a good callback number for you in case we're disconnected while I'm pulling this up or trying to pull it up?
You just had to call my dispatch.
Plunder, true crime audio.
And you can ask for Corporal Yarbrough.
Okay. If I have one of my units do the callback, if they ask for you directly, will they just be able to transfer over to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, okay. I don't get, because we have our personal cell phone. We don't have county-issued phones, so I don't give out my number.
I gotcha. Okay. I just wanted to clarify because, like, I don't have direct transfers over to my deputies. That's why I wanted to make sure. So. Okay. Yes,
ma'am. Our guys and gals can do that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what county were you from again?
Garland County in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Okay.
Yeah, my dispatcher didn't get who she spoke with today. It was a guy, though. I do know that.
Okay.
So we've had a busy Sunday here in Garland County.
I gotcha. Okay, just give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, now I'm finding it. I was like, why isn't that popping up? Okay, all right, so I'll go ahead notate to have one of our deputies or sergeants call you back and request to speak with you directly. We still currently have a hold of you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. You stay warm, okay?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. You too, bye.
Okay.
Some lady that got abused by her husband was calling. He was explaining. He gave Jaime's name, you know, beyond the beep, I'm sure. And they're trying to figure out, okay, we'll have someone call you back. So no wonder they had me pay so much for February 1st call, because it was a lot. It was pretty long. They had to apply some redactions. Let's read Jeremiah 3:22 really quickly before we talk about what could be going on with that criminal case. And I want to check my email again. Return, faithless people. I will cure you of backsliding. Yes, we will come to you, for you are the Lord our God. And don't we all just need to return to God? Believe me, because, whew, these 911 calls, I was like, oh my goodness. So a lot of people were like, oh, case closed totally on every single thing because it's April 1st. People are like, if he really did this on Christmas Day or whatever, Christmas Eve, he would have been arrested. Why wasn't he arrested? And it's true, a lot of people, a lot of us might get used to pretty quick arrests. A lot of us might get used to pretty quick arrests. The thing is, the perpetrator doesn't always leave. Sometimes they do. Like in that Chad Wheeler case, that was Washington State, where he nearly killed his girlfriend, Aaliyah. Oh my goodness, that was horrible. He stayed there and fought with the police. So he was there, they took him down, they arrested him. He didn't flee the scene. This is a little bit different. According to my research, it is entirely plausible and even common for it to take 3 months or longer for a criminal case to be formally filed. So again, this is not me giving JLR any kind of warning, believe you me. Cops, if they ever are looking for him, will very easily be able to find him. He'll be live somewhere in front of someone's house, most likely, and they'll know where he is. I mean, I doubt that unless he goes to creating content, flies off to Norway, or whoever does an extradite, I don't know, starts creating content there, like what's he going to do? This is his lifeblood, so I'm sure he will keep it up. Washington might be building a case. It's so confusing because remember that call from December, the one where I still don't think I missed the cutoff, but they said there's no 911 audio with it. It mentioned in one part of the report, no probable cause. I don't know what that meant. Conflicting stuff all over the place. Jaime is like, because he was arrested, he missed his flight. In that other call, the same CAD note said no probable cause. By February 1st, she's saying, at some point, Washington police told me, they plan to extradite him. When did they say that? Deputy Talley, he wrote, there is probable cause. That's what he literally wrote. He wrote what he saw and everything. Has that changed, or are they just building a case? We will see. You know how these arrests happen. Good Friday is this Friday. Maybe that'll be Felony Friday. We don't know. We just have to wait and see. It could just take the prosecutor's review and the filing decision a long time. The police, have they submitted their entire investigation, all the findings, over to that Chelan County prosecutor's office? And the prosecutors, as we speak now, they could be reviewing evidence and everything, including those medical records people claim they saw. But of course, they can't give you any proof. They can't show you a screenshot or anything. So, there's body cam. And again, it's going to take them at least until May 7th to get the body cam to me. Who knows? They could still be reviewing all these medical records, radiology reports, everything to corroborate, the injuries. Talking to experts like, okay, does this broken nose look like it came from a fist? Does it look like it was self-inflicted? Was it a blunt force injury? What caused this? I'm sure. There's no legal requirements. For most felonies in Washington, the prosecutor has up to 3 years to file charges. And for gross misdemeanors like harassment, they have 2 years. So there's no legal requirements to file this report in 90 days. Even though, we saw the photo leak, we heard about this happening, we've been listening to these 911 calls, and we're like, well, where's the arrest? I guess a lot of us too, of course, like they say, it's not a CSI episode. It's not an episode of The Wire. Things aren't going to be solved in 30 minutes or an hour. The reason it says he wasn't booked is because it says he fled the scene. He was last tracked through North Dakota. Of course, he's not in custody. There's no speedy arraignment clock running. Jaime may have mentioned things on the previous call that she didn't know for a fact. She might have assumed he got arrested. So she said, he missed his flight because he was arrested. Doesn't seem like that's the case. She's talking about this criminal case. She's saying police told her they plan to extradite him. I don't know what's going to happen. The last I checked, and I guess I'll check again, and by the time I finish editing all this, I'll check again for updates. But an investigation can take a couple of weeks. The prosecutor's review can take up to several months. Formally filing a warrant can take up to 3 months or more. Trials, we know those can go years later. I mean, my goodness. So just stay tuned. We'll see what the prosecutor's office tells me. I'm trying to grab info from everywhere. I'm talking to people. If we see an arrest happen, maybe JLR will be the first to tell us if he's arrested. Anyway, thank you so much for watching all this. Check the links below. Take care.